All right, let's get right into it. We hear all this talk about AI and the future of work, but I want you to know this isn't just about some fancy new app. Nope. We are talking about a total reinvention of what it even means to have a job. This is a fundamental shift, and we are right at the beginning of it.
So, what do we call this new world? Well, researchers from places like the World Economic Forum and Gartner have a name for it, the Agentic Era. Now that word, agentic, is key. It means AI is no longer just a tool we use, but an autonomous agent that acts on its own. It's basically becoming less like a calculator and more like a digital collaborator.
And trust me, this isn't some science fiction movie plot set in 2050. Tech leaders like Mark Zuckerberg and Jensen Huang are talking about this right now. They see it happening. AI is shifting from being a passive assistant that waits for our commands to an active agent that we manage. So what does that mean for us? It means our value is no longer about doing the task, writing the lines of code or the marketing copy, but about being the architect, setting the strategy, and having the final judgment.
So let's break down what the agentic era really means for your day-to-day. The big idea to wrap your head around is this: our relationship with technology is evolving. We're going from being a user with a tool to something more like a manager with a team of digital colleagues.
Now, a shift this massive, of course, brings some huge challenges. It's basically rewriting the entire rulebook for the job market. And look, it is completely normal to be a little worried about what this means for your career. So let's cut through the noise and look at the actual data to see what's happening.
First, here's a really important projection from Gartner. By 2030, a whopping 75% of knowledge work is not going to be replaced by AI. Instead, it's going to be all about direct human-AI collaboration. So what does that tell us? It means your job is much more likely to transform into a role where you supervise AI, not get eliminated by it.
But let's be real, this transition is going to be bumpy. The World Economic Forum doesn't pull any punches here. They figure about 92 million jobs could be displaced, especially things like administrative work and basic coding. But, and this is the part everyone needs to hear, they also predict that 170 million new jobs will be created. So the real story isn't job loss, it's a massive job shuffle.
So if we're looking at a net gain of millions of jobs, what's the problem? Well, here it is, the absolute heart of the issue. It's a massive skills mismatch. The skills you need for those 170 million new jobs are totally different from the skills used in the 92 million jobs that are going away.
And this creates a really tough situation for young people starting out. It's something called the broken rung problem. Think about it. If AI automates all these simple entry-level tasks, that first rung on the career ladder just disappears. Suddenly, a new graduate is expected to have the strategic thinking of someone who's been working for 5 years, right on day one.
Okay, that's enough about the challenges. Let's flip the script and talk about the opportunities, because there are a ton of them. Where exactly are these 170 million new jobs coming from? This is where things get really interesting.
First up, a whole new field: AI orchestration. I mean, if companies are going to have teams of AI agents working for them, they need a human manager, right? That's where you get roles like an agent orchestrator, who designs what the AI team does, or an AI ethicist, who makes sure these powerful systems are actually being used fairly and responsibly. These are big-picture, strategic jobs.
Next, there's going to be a huge boom in jobs that are tied to the physical world. Think about the green energy transition. We'll need climate technology specialists, sure, but you absolutely cannot automate the hands-on work of installing solar panels or fixing a wind turbine. These jobs are grounded in reality, which makes them very hard to automate. And finally, we've got the jobs that are just deeply, uniquely human. We're going to need creative people like synthetic data designers to build the data that trains AI in the first place. And of course, any job that requires empathy and a physical presence. I'm talking about nurses, therapists, caregivers. Their value is going to skyrocket. You just can't automate a real human connection.
All right, so we know where the jobs are heading. The big question is, how do you get ready for them? How do you position yourself to succeed right now, not 5 years from now? Well, it really all boils down to a major shift in how you think and what skills you focus on.
This right here is the absolute key. We have to change our mindset from being the creator or the executor, the person actually doing the typing, to being the architect and the curator. The architect designs the whole system and asks the right questions. The curator then sifts through what the AI creates, picking the best parts and refining the final product. Your job isn't making the clay, it's being the sculptor.
So what skills do you need for this new mindset? The World Economic Forum breaks it down into 3 core areas. Number 1, analytical and creative thinking, so you can see the big picture. Number 2, resilience and adaptability, because things are going to keep changing fast. And number 3, AI and data literacy. You don't just need to know how to use AI, you need to know how to question it. And here's the most fascinating twist in all of this. As AI gets amazing at logic and analysis, those things become cheap, like a commodity. So what becomes more valuable? The things that are uniquely human. Your new competitive advantage, your superpower, is emotional intelligence. Things like empathy, persuasion, and true leadership become premium, highly paid skills.
So what does the ideal professional of the future look like? You can think of them as a cyborg manager. And no, it's not about becoming a robot. It's the exact opposite. It's about becoming more human. You let AI handle the robotic, repetitive tasks, which frees you up to double down on what humans do best: judgment, creativity, and connecting with other people.
Okay, so if the entire world of work is being turned upside down, it's pretty obvious that our education systems have to change too. I mean, they were built for a totally different era, and we have to adapt them for this new reality, fast.
So I want to ask you a direct question. Doesn't matter if you're a student, a parent, or just learning new things for your job. Take a hard look at how you're learning. Is it truly getting you or your kids ready for the world we're heading into?
Here's the pivot we desperately need to make. We have got to stop focusing on things AI can do instantly, like memorizing programming syntax or cramming facts for a test. Instead, we have to master things like systems thinking, understanding how complex pieces fit together. And we need to evaluate people based on portfolios that show their judgment, not just tests that check their memory.
And if you're wondering how urgent this is, just look at this number. The World Economic Forum predicts a 40% skill churn by 2030. Let that sink in. That means nearly half of a person's core skills will have to be updated in the next few years. The idea of learning a trade and being set for life, that's officially over.
So let's bring this all home. Let's wrap it all up into one final core message. What is humanity's new role in this agentic era? What is the one thing you should take away from all of this?
This table basically sums up the entire shift. In every area, we need to stop focusing on the grunt work, rote coding, churning out content, just collecting data. And instead, we need to master the higher level skills, designing the architecture, setting the creative direction, making the strategic calls, and, most importantly, leading and inspiring other human beings.
You know, when you boil it all down, maybe the best way to think about our future is with this simple metaphor. Don't be afraid that the engine is getting more powerful. Our job is to learn how to fly it. In this new agentic era, AI becomes the engine, but we, with our judgment, our creativity, and our values, we must always, always remain the pilots.